Yeah, so I was just wondering how you started Tusk and how you came up with the idea for Tusk.
Right. Well, it's a long story. I'll try and keep it short. But essentially, I came here, as I told you, to do my MBA. And I graduated, people don't remember, but when I graduated in 1980, unemployment was even higher than what it is today.
We all have that same story.
So, I couldn't get a job. And I started working with my cousin who had an apparel company. And we used to, actually we had the apparel supply, we used to be supplying, my family supplied the apparel from India, and my cousin, did the marketing and sales over here. So I joined with him. I used to work in India also in apparel before I came here. And long and short of it is I worked with him for about 5-6 years, and then decided to go out on my own. And a friend of mine and I joined up together just to do different businesses, not even this business. We didn't know what we wanted to do. We just said we'll try and do some international business with India. And we didn't succeed at anything. And then once I brought some handbags back from India, and I couldn't get any orders for the handbags either. But slowly we started getting orders. And so we had to, I didn't want to bring in product without a brand. I think one of the things I learned with my cousin was the importance, even in those days, of having a brand, or at least having a name. And so I asked some friends of mine to come up with some names and ideas for that, and a friend of mine and I were sitting around throwing names at one another. He came up with the name Tusk. I liked it, and that's how we decided on the name. And another friend of mine decided the logo, and that was that. So that's how we started the company.
Okay.
And
But the focus on developing the name and the brand had to do with India.
right. So one of the things, sort of, the things that we agreed on, or I wanted was, and my friends and I agreed on, was we didn't want an American name. We didn't want a fake designer name. I didn't want to put my name because at that time, India didn't have the image that it has today. So we wanted a name that would be easy to remember, but was sort of global in nature, not ethnic Indian. So when he said Tusk, to me, it could be an Indian elephant, it could be an African elephant, and also we wanted it to be something that we could apply to different product categories. So the Tusk could be great for perfume, it could be great for jewelry, for clothing, it could be good for a restaurant. So the whole idea was to have a name which was not ethnic, which could cross product categories, and easy to remember. So when he said Tusk, 4 letters, and that was it. And so same thing with the logo. It had to be a stylized logo, something which was cool and not, again, not ethnic, but a little abstract. So that's how we agreed that was what we wanted.
Okay. So your handbags, where are they produced? Are they produced in India?
Everything is produced in today. When we started, everything, 100% of the production was India. Now for the last 10-15 years, we've been doing production both in China and India.
Okay.
Most of the leathers, well, earlier on, I would say most of the leathers are coming from Italy, some from India. Today it's a mix, whether it's India, Japan, Italy. I think we source the materials from different places.
Right. And you said Tusk is international now, so like what?
International in the sense we are not an international, like a luxury brand like a Chanel or something like that, but we do sell overseas. For example, our product is in Harrods in London. There's another store called Fenwick in London that has carried our product. We also have now sort of an arrangement where a lady is exclusively selling a product in Beijing and Shanghai. She has like a showroom, so to speak, store come showroom with select brands, and we are one of the brands in our stores, so we are in China.
Mm-hmm.
And we have started also doing an initiative in India
Okay.
where we don't sell to stores, but we do sort of trunk shows
Okay.
in India. So we are selling
Like
there,
pop-ups.
like pop-up stores.
Mhm.
So in that sense, we are global. We do have stores in Australia who buy us, Philippines,
Mhm.
in Japan.
Mhm.
But, so it's not major distribution, but the presence is there.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny that how the word gets around. We get inquiries from customers in Australia or in England asking, where can I buy your product? So
Mhm.
obviously the knowledge is there, or the awareness is there rather,
Right.
of the brand.
Okay. And where do you see like the brand going like in the next 5 years?
Um, well, I think that today, I think even for a small company, everyone is forced to think globally. And I think between, obviously because of the internet, that's now more possible. And I think there is no denying that Asia is such a big market and a growing market that you cannot ignore it. You can ignore it, but I think at your own peril, so to speak. So we feel that we are based here, we are a New York based company. So we do have to go by our roots. So we obviously have to continue having a presence in the US, and no matter what the difficulties are here, I think globally people still look at the US as a prestige market. Everybody wants to be here. So we do see continuing presence in the US, but I think we want to continue expanding. The expansion, I think, is going to come from Asia, whether it's China or India or even other Southeast Asian countries.
Mhm.
So we would like to grow both from a geographical segment, it has to grow that way, and even from a distribution segment, I think we need to have maybe more of our own retail stores,
Mhm.
increase our presence on the internet, continue to develop it over there.
Okay.